I mean, we educate people on trivia stuff, I guess. All right, go ahead and refresh our channel page, and then you should be able to click on the live. There we go. Cool beans. All right. You should see the nifty new screen I made. It took 45 minutes for that animation in the background to render.
Oh, to render. I was gonna say I was gonna like think you were gonna say to make. I was gonna be like, come on, don't be modest. Like, if anything, like just lie and say it took you 5 hours to make.
It did take me quite
But
a
it
bit
might
because I
have
had to do
taken
some
you-
trial and error. But it did take it longer to render than it took me to make it. And you know what's really funny? It took 45 minutes for that thing to encode, and it's a 10-second clip on a fucking loop. So it is literally 10 seconds long, and it took 45 minutes to encode. But you like it?
Yeah, I do.
Kind of gives that like old school hero zooming effect.
If I can learn how to spell.
So it should have shared on Twitter automatically because I have it linked to the Twitter account.
Face page. This is, well, you know, when we were like dreaming early on, I was like, we could have like the two dads and we are like people like standing, you know, green screen it with us actual people, and then, you know, we can like be standing on the two dads logo and like do stuff on there and have it like an animated sort of background. And I was just kind of daydreaming about that shit. You're getting like as close as we can right now without actually spending money.
I mean, we spend money each month on the Adobe software, but
we spend money on each month on my HBO and your Funimation.
Yep. It's for research, so
research, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I said.
Yeah, it's research.
And what's the other one I spend on for us? Oh, not anymore till I'm gonna have to reactivate.
Zoom. Oh yeah, you got to get that activated and get that sent to David. Well, hit sent to his media manager. Social.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, it was kind of crazy. I sent a message and she got back to me like through his account, and she said like, "Hey, my name's Michelle," and it like comes up David, and I was like, "Wait, it says David right there."
You won't fool me.
You won't fool me, David. No, but
I've played this game before.
It was really freaking.
Davids I've talked to that said their name was Michelle.
I'm freaking excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah, dude. Come on, fuck yeah! Especially with the new series. I don't even know if he's made it into the series yet, outside of flashbacks and stuff.
That's fine. It's fine
because I haven't watched that far into it. But we will find out before it happens.
So, yeah, we're on ultra low latency this time. Audio and everything should be good. Stream quality should be good. I'm not getting any hiccups, so that's good. By ultra low latency, I mean what happens on the stream is literally only 3 seconds behind what happens real time.
Okay.
So that means I need to start the intro because the countdown is over.
Is this because of the duck thing?
Maybe.
I've not taken this hoodie off in a month and a half.
And then when you're done, you feel the most shamed ever. There we go. Always professional.
What the fuck is even happening?
Classic sort of story.
It came out to high critical acclaim, and it's Pokemon Snap.
If you press the tape, it goes.
Like, what is going
buddy?
on?
I was on edibles. Not a pornography. This is a podcast.
And you got the name wrong again.
I like your duck shirt.
Thanks. It's a duck. Welcome to Two Dads in a Podcast.
The zombie
Cast.
The
Our
zombie
second
cast.
broadcast on YouTube Live. And honestly, I'm loving the platform, man. I really am. I'm
Yeah.
sort of glad we switched.
Well, I mean, I'm glad we switched for a couple of reasons, because literally just a few days ago, Twitch was hacked. Like, and I'm not talking the just hacked. The entire site, including the source code and everything, was hacked, downloaded, released, password, like encrypted passwords, earnings, like everything.
Oh, so this wasn't like a Sony hack. This was a fucking
the
job
whole
done.
site was downloaded. Somebody got the entire freaking website.
They grew too fast for their britches, man. That's what happens.
And you know, so it turns out that, you know, making the switch was probably a good thing.
Here we are. So welcome live, man. This is awesome. So we are in ooky spooky time. We're in October, and we fucking love October. This is our month, man. This is where we thrive. I've got
it is. We're here.
Gravestones up in my living room, waiting to be planted out in the yard.
I started wearing a man bun. Like
that is scary.
Truly scary.
That's horrifying.
Times. Like, look at this.
I stopped wearing a hat. Now everybody can see the bald spot on top of my head.
Oh man, it is a scary month.
Doing the best we
can. Month. But anyway, so our top 5 this week. So last year we did top 5 horror video games as a whole.
Right.
This year we wanted to narrow it down a little bit.
We're doing zombified.
Yeah, top 5 zombie video games.
So again, unintentionally, we sort of came about the same idea, where last year we were doing the games that really terrified us when we were first playing
super scary.
Yeah, and this year we were doing the zombie games, but not necessarily like the most scary zombie games, but the most fun to play.
The ones that are based on gameplay, like the game, the story, the zombie element. The zombie element has to be there. Like, that was the major criteria for this. Last year, it didn't have to have zombies in it. So
now,
with that, I don't know whose turn it is. So I guess I'll just go this week.
You.
Yeah, we'll go me. We'll go me. You know what? I need to prepare for this. All right. Okay.
You fucking suck. What are you, Big Lebowski? What the fuck are you doing, John Goodman?
Okay, so is
it sad I have a pair of those in my car? I mean,
no, because they make me look so damn good, don't they? I need to
that's
trim
not
my
why I have
beard.
them in my car.
No, you have them in your car because they make me look good. We know how this works. All right.
What do you got? Number 5.
My number 5.
We still need a soundbite for that, by the way.
Number 5. Number 5. My number 5 is Plants vs. Zombies.
Oh
no! Wait, did we do it again?
My number 5 is Plants vs. fucking Zombies, man.
We did it again!
I was so addicted to this game.
Dude,
bruh.
So my initial like introduction to this game, I learned what it was and then I pirated it. So like I literally pirated this game back when it like first came out, and it was this big thing, and I played the hell out of it. And since then I have literally bought this game like 5 fucking times.
I first played it for free on the iPhone when it came out, and actually I started with Plants vs. Zombies 2, and I did not want to play this game. There was nothing in me that wanted to play this game, but I just got hit with ad after ad.
Oh man, yeah. Plants vs. Zombies 2 was just
and usually
garbage.
That buys you into a fucking horrible like thing. So I started playing number 2, and I went and I played the first one, and it is fucking addicting, man. That game just draws you in. I don't know what it is about it.
The second one was literally there just to be a money pit. They were capitalizing on the microtransactions and everything that were making it big and making people a shit ton of money. But the first one is just it is a perfect little tower defense game.
Yeah, this was 2009. It is just a defense game. Yeah, that's all you're trying to do. That's all the purpose of the game is, and I don't know what makes it so fucking addicting, but Jesus Christ, that game sucked me in. It just did.
Oh yeah. I've put easily hundreds of hours into it across the board, both on my phone, on consoles, on the computer. You know,
Dude,
it's
who you
fun.
telling?
And when the zombies get your brain, it's just bleh. And then
Right?
this song, when you beat like the main story, and it's zombies on my lawn. There are zombies on my lawn. Dude, that's a banger. It's a straight up banger. Like, fight me, bro. All right.
So
I guess that leads us to my number 4.
yeah,
Because we just kind of fast tracked through number 5. So my number 4, there are arguments that it is not a zombie game, but it's a fucking zombie game, okay? It's The Last of Us.
yes, it is.
It is a zombie game.
That is the premise.
Sure,
That's
99% of the
reason you're
game
there.
is bottle and brick throwing simulator, but the game is fantastic. And, you know, you're hiding, the clickers are a fungal. It is honestly probably the closest thing to what could actually be contrived as zombies. You know, it's
Right.
because there are literal fungal parasites out there that turn animals and insects into walking zombies. So why not humans? The game is fantastic. The gameplay,
It is.
the
it is beautifully
story
made.
is just incredibly well done. I was just like growling in my fucking throat. I'm turning, yeah, okay. But you know, the story is so well done. The imagery throughout the entire game is fantastic. If you haven't played it yet, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is one of the highest rated games of all time. Go play it. You can play it on a PS3. Go spend $40 and buy a PS3 off a crackhead down the street and get this damn game. It's so good. It's so good. So what's your
my
number
number 4 is a newer one, 2019,
Oh.
and I picked
oh
up
yeah,
this
that's just
game.
a couple years.
Yeah, I picked up this game. It was billed as this open world RPG zombie game, and it lived up to a lot of that. And that's Days Gone.
Oh
So,
yeah, Days Gone.
I've
See,
talked about this game before.
I just haven't played through it yet. I have it. I've had it for since it came out because of my old job. And I just haven't taken the time to play it, but I've heard really good things about the game. I have a statue for it.
It's really good, man. It's really good. So you start out, you're in Oregon, and you're this biker. Your name is Deacon, and this hooligan virus. It's a zombie virus,
And you have to fight zombies. Got it. Fantastic game. Beautiful. My number 3.
Yeah, you survive. You live, and that's it. But it really unravels this story slowly, and it sort of reminisces of like a Fallout 3, except for instead of mutants and stuff, it's zombies.
It's zombies. Nice.
It's very good. The play on the motorcycle travel, the targeting system, and all that is very good. It's
Dude, the one thing that kind of drew me to the game that, you know, made me want to play it. And again, it's just life is crazy. Now that I've got a little bit more time, so I'll start playing some more games here and there. And I'll get to that one eventually. But the environmental element where you can use your environment to its fullest, you know, both with obstacles, using things to help you fight them. Like it's just a really interesting, you know, and well done concept.
It's a little more pointed than I want in a zombie game. But honestly, like, it makes it user friendly for somebody who's not your typical gamer. So like they really like point out.
I know Days Gone was really focused on the story, not necessarily the zombie fighting.
Right. So like they make it a little obvious, like, hey, you need a gas can for this. Oh, hey, you can probably shoot this gas can and create fire and kill some stuff. Like they make it very pointed. They direct you a lot, but you can turn that difficulty. You know, you can switch the difficulty and make it a challenge.
Nice. I like that.
What are we at? Number 3 now?
Number 3, yeah, number 3 already, man. I think we're moving too fast. We need to slow down a little bit.
You can't slow this train down.
So my number 3 is another. People can argue it's not technically zombies, but they are. They're 100% zombies. They're just alien zombies. and Dead Space. It's Dead Space.
Dead Space. Yeah. That's a
Man,
good-
I believe
ugh.
this may have been on my list last year. I don't fucking know. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
It was.
But the game is so good. There's a reason it was on that list
It
and it's on
bears
this list.
fucking repeating, as the White Stripes might say.
You know, it is a truly horrifying game. It's truly scary, especially the first time you play it. And then, you know, you have these mutant alien zombies that just are absolutely horrifying to both to look at and to fight, and you have to fight in a very specific manner to kill these things. You know, it's not like other zombie games where you just shoot them in the head once and they're dead, or you know you take a shotgun and blast them as many times. You have to
types of weapons,
cut off their limbs, and you know, like it is a super fun and engaging game, and I
that's
really
where, like, your
really
fucking
love
weapon you start off with wasn't intended
the plasma
to
cutter.
be a weapon.
No, it was a medical tool for surgery.
Right.
And you know, like it's just a really, really cool concept. You know, you are an engineer and you're using this like medical tool / engineering tool that you use to cut things. Well, yeah, it cuts people too.
Well, alien zombies
too. Yeah.
So my number 3 is just pure fucking fun, and that's from 2006, Dead Rising. It's a Capcom game.
Yeah.
It is. You grab whatever the fuck you can and you murder.
Mow down zombies. That is the 100% what the game is meant for. Literally, mow down zombies.
Oh man, I remember there was no other point to the game ad, and that's really what they fucking advertised, and that's what the fuck you got, and that's what makes it beautiful. And like you go from having like certain areas where you've got a couple zombies to where you can have up to hundreds and thousands of zombies in this fucking area, and it's just survive.
Just you know, throw a couple chainsaws on a lawnmower and go. You know, right. I can't remember if that's actually a thing, but I know that it has some crazy freaking weapons, some really silly shit you can do, stupid ass costumes you can put on.
Dude, the great part about this game, especially the first couple, like when it first came out, like you're talking about games in 2006 that if you're playing just this very poignant, like directed game, you might get 2-3 hours of gameplay, and then you're replaying it. This took you through 7 hours of gameplay minimum to beat it.
And then there's so much extra content that there's no way that you could, you know, finish it all in that time.
Took as long as, I mean, it's fucking amazing. Like,
and honestly, you beat it and you could just keep playing it because it's literally like the concept of the Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors, where you're fighting thousands of enemies and just make those enemies zombies. And that's what Dead Rising is. It's great.
Just pure joy. That's what it was. So you're number 2, my friend.
My number two has been on the top of my list for other things, but it's not quite there for this because of our criteria that we built up for it. Resident Evil 4.
Oh my gosh.
You knew this was going to be on my list.
You were going to say Pokemon Snap. I was convinced.
I mean, there are some pretty terrifying zombies in Pokemon.
You want to know what the crazy thing is? Last year, both of our number 2 was Resident Evil 4.
I could have swore mine was number 1.
Nope. I listened to it today. It was both of ours was Resident Evil 4.
Oh, well, how about that? Well, it's number 2 again because
it was our number
good.
2.
They were so good.
I fucked that up already. They were both our number 2 last year.
Yeah, the Resident Evil 4. You've heard me talk about it a bunch of times. I'm not going to go into super depth into it.
Did you? Were you that fucking lazy? You just copy and pasted your list from last year onto this year?
Maybe.
Come on.
I don't fucking know. I don't remember what I did last year. But Resident Evil 4 is so good. It is a fantastic both.
You
horror,
why it
zombie
was on my list last year.
It's just so damn good, and I've played it.
It was so hard to play and terrifying. And like I said last year, because we did this already, my first time playing that game was with you, at my house on the GameCube. And it was fucking fantastic.
Yep. I've had it on the GameCube, on the PlayStation 2, the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, on the PC. You know, I it's so good, and it has to be on my list, but it's not number one. It's not number one. And we'll get to my number one after you tell me what your number 2 is.
My number 2 is Resident Evil 5 this year, not 4.
Oh.
Because last year my number 2 is Resident Evil 4. This year it's number 5. And that is because while number 4 scared the shit out of me when we first played it, number 5 was so much fun. And we glanced upon it last year
When you played with other people. When you played with other people.
When you play it with other people, which we did. I mean, constantly, me and you, whether we were together or at our own houses, it was just such an enjoyable playthrough. And I think you brought it up last year. It is, if you want a shooting game, one that's more based on action.
Oh, 100%. It is an action-based game.
This game is fucking fun. And the multiplayer is fantastic in it, especially after all the updates and stuff. They really dialed it in.
Oh yeah,
and
there was so much to that game, and the mercenaries mode and the extra missions and the DLC, and it was a really, really good game. The only reason 4 beats out 5 for me is simply because it's a better game. And I forgot what my choices were last year. I might have to change my number 1. Let me go listen to this podcast real quick.
No, but you got to think, like, this is when like online gameplay was still kind of young. This is what Xbox 360 era, and it wasn't where it is today. And so there was still this
the
joint
first
play
week,
game.
and again, I think I talked about this before in one of the podcasts. The first week Resident Evil 5 came out, I put 80 hours into that game because I was a no-life high school graduate. I'm still a no-life high school graduate, but
so
I don't have 80 hours to put into a game anymore.
So then what made your number 1?
So my number 1, just for the sheer fact that it is true zombie slaying glory, is Left 4 Dead 2.
Yes. That did not make your list last year, but we have talked about this verbatim. We've talked about both games. You preferred 2. I preferred 1.
I prefer 2 for a couple reasons. For 2 reasons. No, it's more than 2 reasons. But the biggest ones is they took everything from Resident Evil, Left 4 Dead 1, and put it into Left 4 Dead 2. So literally all the characters, all the maps, everything from Left 4 Dead 1 is in Left 4 Dead 2. And one of the other big things is the mod support for this game.
Definitely.
Dude, do you know how fucking terrifying it is to run through hordes of Teletubby zombies while Shrek is chasing you to the All-Star song?
Look, here's the thing.
It's terrifying.
I disagree that it is more terrifying. I felt more terrified by the first one, and that could just be because I'd already played the first one, so I knew what to expect with the second one. But
I mean, nostalgia probably has a little bit to say in that too.
I will not disagree that Left 4 Dead 2 is a funner game to play, especially when you get to play as the enemy after you die. In certain modes.
The online modes, the versus modes and stuff. And that super fun.
That was so fucking fun.
Oh yeah.
But my number 1 has nothing to do with killing hordes of zombie. My number 1 comes from 2012.
Suspicious.
Based off of a comic book series and from a game series that has defined RPG, just click and point storytelling that makes you
know
sit on
exactly
the edge of
what you're going to say.
Seat. You know it's the Telltale stories, Walking Dead series for Telltale.
Yes,
was such amazing storytelling.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Secret of Monkey Island, LeChuck's Revenge.
Fuck off.
Now that was a point-and-click adventure, man. No,
Telltale Games is so fucking good, and there is
The Walking Dead Telltale was fantastic, both with the elements of, you know, honestly kind of the little bit of the jump scares, the storytelling.
Yeah.
You know,
my gosh.
the
you have
emotion.
to click one of You have to click one of 3 buttons and the timer is fucking ticking. And the anxiety you get from that fucking pressure that is cast upon you, it's a fucking button, dude. It's an X or a fucking
Oh God, do I go left
square
or right? Do
or
I
a
go left or right? Do I go
triangle, and
left or
you're
right?
like,
Close my eyes.
wait, I can't go back and change this choice of mine? What
Nope.
the fuck?
So the Walking Dead Telltale was so close to being on my list because it is such a good game, but it didn't have as much influence on me as the other ones on my list, and that's why it didn't quite make it. But I will 100%.
I appreciate that.
Agree that it's fantastic.
I had to give it to it for the storytelling, the innovation, and just the pure joy of playing through that game.
You know, Telltale didn't create the point and click adventure. They didn't.
Not at
they
all.
didn't create it.
No, I believe Carmen Sandiego did. But man, god damn it, they have perfected it.
They did a fantastic job at bringing that style game to a much bigger mainstream and a much bigger
They did a
audience.
fucking fantastic job of just giving you the opportunity to live through a comic book, and they've done it over and over again
The
now.
art style, the storytelling, the voice acting, fantastic. That's a good number one. I like that.
I had to do it. So one game that we got to give a nod to, I think, and it's not a zombie game, but it is a zombie feature, and I'm talking about Call of Duty. You know, Black
that
Ops.
was so close to being on my list, and specifically for me, Call of Duty World at War, which was the very first Call of Duty zombies.
It was so
with
much fucking
the Nazi
fun.
zombies and World War II and using those old weapons. Like, it was so much fun. You know, there's so many other, like, you know, since then, how many Call of Duty zombies are there? You know, the entire Black Ops series,
2,
Cold War, you know, Infinite Warfare had one. Like, it's all over the place. And
I mean, there are a ton of zombie games
really
we can tip the cap to, you know, but I just wanted to call that out because Black Ops really did do a fucking fantastic job. They reinvented themselves with that, and that's the only reason I think that they stayed relevant for a few years while they kind of went through this funky phase.
A few more, you know, zombie games that are good but not as good as the other ones. You know, we've got Dead Island, Dying Light, The Evil Within, which I'm playing through right now on the 2DAP YouTube page with live streaming on the weekends. And one game that I loved playing with the missus. It was so much fun, and it's so fucking stupid, but I love it. An Xbox 360 arcade game called I Made a Game with Zombies in it. It is literally just this top-down twin stick shooter, and that's it. You're literally just moving your joysticks around, shooting hordes of zombies until you die. Or you run out of time. And it's fantastic. And the song the entire time that plays is literally just, I made a game with zombies in it.
You're gonna talk about this game every fucking year come October. Because you brought it up last year.
Look,
no.
It's so fucking stupid. Go and play it.
All we need now is like the zombified Marvel game. That's what we need next.
Oh yeah.
Capcom, get on it.
Get the what if zombies going on here. Yeah. So, all right,
that's it, man.
Well, guys, that's the end of our list. That's a little faster this year. It also helps, that I just took my answers from last year. No.
If you have a favorite zombie game that you love to play, we would love to hear about it. So please reach out to us.
Reach out to us. You've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can email us at 2dap2020@gmail.com. Comment on the YouTube video. And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And, we're on Patreon.
Podcasts are available. Patreon, yeah.
And I guess this is
silence.
This is where we talk about
next time on Two Dads and a Podcast.
We are continuing our movie focus for our deep dive stuff.
But we're
switching it up. We're switching it up.
Fucking horror, buddy.
Horror for this month. So stay tuned. Listen to the next episode coming out later this week. And
our first fucking go will be on the Amityville Horror movie.
oh yeah.
The OG.
The OG,
Amityville.
yes. We have to talk about the original because there are 26 or 27 fucking Amityville movies.
Although
We're talking about the first.
I will say Ryan Reynolds is a fucking sexy man. Not talking about his.
Yep. As always, guys, thank you so much for listening.
We love you all. Ooh.
Is that it? Did we finish?
No.
Oh man, I need to get my voice mod buttons set up so I can change into spooky voice.
That was good.
That was good.
That was really good.
'Cause-
Man, it's nice to jump back into a subject that we're that is just
What
so
we're both
linear,
passionate
so
and we
focused.
know so much about too. Yeah.
I mean, with the comic book ones, there's so much fucking information, so many fucking storylines, and I love comic books, but god damn, there's so much information just jam into like 2 or 3 minutes.
It really is.
And it's
Oh,
fucking
man.
impossible. That's why I like these type of things.
Like the spooky things.
Okay, I couldn't help myself there. All right, let's get back to the countdown screen. Which, all right.
You know what? Fuck you too.
Okay, you ready?
No.
Mute.
Is this because of the duck thing?
Maybe.
I've not taken this hoodie off in a month and a half.
And then when you're done, you feel the most shamed ever. There we go. Always professional.
What
the
the
story
fuck
is even happening?
Classic sort of story.
It came out to high critical acclaim, and it's Pokemon Snap.
If you press the tape, it goes.
Like, what is going
Buddy,
on?
I was on edibles. Not a pornography. This is a podcast.
And you got the name wrong again. I like your duck shirt.
Thanks. It's a duck.
Welcome to Two Dads and a Podcast, based on a true story.
Yes, we really didn't do much research for this. And that
No.
is true.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we are two dads, and that is a true story.
That is no DNA evidence, but we father. You know what? I
Kids.
don't even do a good job at that. I think they're still chained up in the backyard. You know what? I'll check after the podcast. It's fine.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
wait.
You know, it's only it's only dark and rainy out there in the woods.
How
It'll be
is it
fine.
raining again? Oh man, I should plan for that. better.
Maybe it's not. I know it's supposed to rain over the next few days. Maybe
So
put a
we
tarp
are
over them or something.
talking about Amityville.
The Amityville Horror.
So we're a little bit outside of what, New York City. We're in New Jersey here, Jazzy.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Amityville.
We gotta
Is
start
this the name
with
of
the
the town?
preface of the movie. So what year was this movie again? Was it 79?
79 is when this movie came out, and
And you
the
gotta think-
events of the true
Well,
story, quote
You
unquote.
got to think, leading into this movie, you have a bunch of horror movies like Rosemary's Baby, The
and
Exorcist.
The Exorcist
and
was
these-
a big one that came out shortly before this.
These movies were extremely controversial, and so you're leading up, to the Amityville, and you're really getting this rise and exorcism, Catholic Church, and then going into the satanic panic of the 90s.
Yep.
Only 10 years later. And so this movie, it starts out with the true story of
of
Ronnie DeFeo
yes,
Jr.
Ronald DeFeo Jr. And his dad was an award-winning like singer. He was real big, and he wasn't a good father. Kind of like us. Like no, we're better than that. We're better than that. He's not part of Two Dads, but Ronald DeFeo Jr. kind of went off the deep end and decided one night to murder his whole family.
So this whole scene in and of itself has a lot of controversy, and that sort of starts with the fact that like to murder his family, a couple siblings, his parents,
4 siblings, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and his parents.
They were all 4 of the 6 were killed. They were asleep when they died. But
Yep.
this gun that he supposedly used was loud enough to wake an entire city. it was
an
an extremely
really
loud
loud
gun.
rifle. But nobody in,
So there's
nobody in
already
the town woke up.
controversy
No
going
neighbors
into it.
woke up. Nothing. So we get into that, and there's this horrifying murder case. You know, DeFeo goes away for a long time. There's some, he changed his story, like 18 times.
He tried to play the insanity plea, and he wasn't good at playing insane. Surprisingly, you have to either be a genius or actually be insane to play the insanity.
Play insane, yeah.
He was just an idiot. Hard to say much else about him. So
here we are. We're a year later, and a family, George and Kathy Lutz, they buy the house for a steal. Like it was a steal. It was a crazy good deal. $80,000.
They bought it $80,000 at the time.
And even then, for inflation, that's a couple $100,000, but that's still for the kind of house that it was a steal. They got a really good deal on it. And
yeah, definitely. Maybe because people were murdered in the house, but I can't prove that.
Could be.
Now, in the movie, this whole scene of them touring the house and stuff, it is a bit comical when you think about.
And Amityville is it's the house was in Long Island, New York.
Was it? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It was on Long Island.
I'll cut that last part out.
Yeah, I checked my notes. But anyway, here we are at 112 Ocean Avenue, and the Lutzes moved in. And
which I don't believe it's 112 anymore. I think
they actually changed it. It's listed under 108 Ocean Avenue. Yeah, to keep people from finding it as easily, even though I found it in like 10 seconds with a Google search. But it'll stop the dumb people who don't know how to Google search.
There you go. That's all you need.
So, a year after, the Lutzes buy the house, and they move in, and they start claiming some really weird shit's going on. So in the movie, they start off.
Yeah.
Let's rewind. So in the movie, they have a priest come in, and it's said based on the book. Yeah,
in the movie,
they did. They did. They had a priest come in to bless the house because a friend of theirs told them what happened in the house and that they should get it blessed. Now, the Lutzes...
let's get real. In real life, they had to have known that this happened before they bought the house. This was one of the biggest covered stories in fucking America at the time. You're talking about somebody who mass murdered
6 people. His whole family, kids included, like younger brothers and sisters.
I think the youngest was like 9.
9, yeah, 9, 12, 13, and 18.
They knew this house was. So I'm not going to dispute that. If there was a mass murder in a house I was going into, I would hire somebody to come bless it too. I'm not even religious, But
Yep.
you fucking do these things.
I'm gonna call up Zach Bagans and get the Ghost Adventures
priest
crew.
Even
like
the priest even went on shows. He said went on shows and he said that, yeah, I was there. I did this. I got not warts, but
blisters
spots
on his hands,
blisters,
and he was attacked by flies and
he
bugs.
was told to get out,
and
all,
a
all the
spooky
stuff that you
voice
saw
said,
in the movies.
Ouch.
But
Just like that too. It sounded just like that.
For some reason, when he had to testify for
In
legal
the court of law.
reasons, he said the most contact he had with them was a fucking phone call. So
I mean, a phone call counts as a blessing, right? I feel blessed every time my family calls. So
I'm just gonna say, that's the type of things that cause to pause for me in any sort of tale.
Maybe he just didn't want it to be on record that he believed in paranormal stuff. I don't know. Let's okay. So he claimed two different things.
The whole way he makes money is paranormal stuff. Come the fuck on and diddling little boys.
You'll probably need to cut that.
Quote unquote.
So we get on. Now, for whatever reason, he decides to leave the house without saying anything to the homeowners that he was just attacked by a demonic being and was told to get out. So he leaves. And then they start, experiencing some weird stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
What
weird stuff to things, TD? Please tell me.
There were objects moving. They heard voices. They started.
Yeah.
There was a greenish black slime that literally climbed the stairs to come after them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In the movie, we get to experience some of those things, including a window closing on the son's hand, but no bones get broken. But there's blood everywhere.
Can I just so when they first started talking about this, I believe it was Good Housekeeping article, the first one. They explained all of these phenomenons, didn't they?
Oh no, it was too terrifying. It was too terrifying. It was too scary.
I will stop you at the window thing. Now, it has been said, so when people when it was came time and outside,
you're trying to say words. I know you are. I believe in you, my friend.
I'll get there. So with the window, so there was a window in the house that did open and close on its own.
There was a window in the house? No.
That opened and closed on its own.
Oh,
but upon further investigation, if it was the counterweights that help smoothly open and close it, they were off. And if you stood on a certain part of the floor, you could cause the window to open and close on its own.
Or was it? Or were you just standing where the ghosts didn't want you to stand?
You were just stepping on a ghost's balls and out of...
Yep. Yep. So you've got all these weird things happening. You've got foul odors. Kathy, the mom, she allegedly levitated in her bed.
She turned into a 90-year-old woman.
And George... He woke up every morning at 3:15 a.m. The exact time of death.
May I ask you, when did the murders happen?
At 3:15 a.m.
What? What are the odds? Is that a coincidence?
I mean, it is the witching hour. That is. 3 a.m. is considered the witching hour when the most paranormal things. Now, we don't account for daylight savings time, so the ghosts know exactly when 3 a.m. is, no matter where you're at in the world. Sorry.
In Australia, they all come out at 3 p.m. and nobody fucking knows why.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's just really
anyways,
weird. The dingoes start floating, and it's just crazy.
So we're getting into all these tales of haunting and stuff. You got stuff banging open and closed. You got doors crashing open and crashing close.
You've got spooky
Crosses
voices.
flipping themselves upside down.
You've got possessions happening.
You've got haunted pigs just walking around. That may have been an actual pig. I
It could have
saw
been.
Hey Arnold. Like,
Could have been.
New York places have
Yeah,
pigs.
there's just random pigs running around New York. Yeah, it happens.
And this all leads up to just after 28 days of this craziness.
Only 4 weeks. 4 weeks they could stand this paranormal demonic possession of their home.
This family just flees.
They did. They
Now-
left everything in the house and just left.
Now, I will say that much is true.
It is. And honestly, they either planned this out or maybe they really were experiencing something in the house. We won't know the actual real
what we forgot
element, but
is
they did leave the house after 28 days. 28 days
Right.
later.
what we forgot is George Lutz.
Oh yeah.
He started getting abusive. He started getting
Yeah, he
aggressive,
started getting
and
angry
physical
and-
towards the kids, towards his wife.
Yeah. He
and
ignored his wife
something-
laying awake, staring angrily at the camera.
And I don't think there was a camera in real life.
What's-
Something that is crazy is
I don't know. Dude.
after 28 days, they really did. They left abruptly for a reason that nobody will mention. There was a breaking point that nobody will talk about. To this day,
they really did just up and leave their home with everything still in it. The next day, they had movers come and take all the stuff out. Now, when they left, and at one point they actually left the house. They went to stay with Kathy's mother in Deer Park, New York, and they claimed that the phenomenon followed them there. So it wasn't necessarily just the house that was, had these beings, this paranormal activity attached to it. It followed them, according to them.
No, and you know what else followed them was about $300,000 that they made off of it, the book deal, movie rights, and well, actually they didn't get much off of the movie rights, but the book deals and the interviews that all followed
this
them
isn't
also.
about the money. This is about the paranormal. Okay.
No, not at all.
Now, one thing, to play that part here is when the Lutzes didn't work with the author of the book that the movie was based off of the true story, because based on a true story. They submitted about 45 hours of tape recorded recollections. Now, I will say that is impressive as shit. 45 hours of recording stories. And apparently they didn't mix up their stories even once. That's crazy. That is a little, coincidental. It's weird.
So they
sold 10 million
originally-
copies of the book.
Yeah. And who was the author of that? Fuck is his name again?
Anson.
Yeah.
Jay
So
Anson.
they did. So originally, it's rumored that they corresponded with the lawyer of Ronnie DeFeo Jr. at first.
Yes.
And then eventually they were approached by Anson and they started working with Anson for a long time. And the parties discussed a lot of this before anything was really put out as far as the book goes and all that stuff. And according to DeFeo's lawyer, it was discussed over many bottles
of wine.
of wine.
Yes, yes. Drunken writing with a lawyer. It's great.
Now, eventually, Anson and the Lutz family didn't exactly see eye to eye. Anson went off on his own. He ended up making millions off of this the book deal and the movies and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, the movie is a cult classic. The movie is just an absolute cult classic. I know we summarized a lot of the movie very quickly. You know, there's a few other things going on in there. You know, apparently there were claims that the house was actually built on an Indian burial ground. But unless you talk to the local Native Americans
who weren't actually local to that area. They were actually local to an area about an hour and a half away by car.
Yeah.
And so that one's a little off. All the claims of damages to the house, the family that bought it afterwards said there didn't appear to be any damages at all.
Everything was perfectly fine.
There didn't appear to be any repairs done to the house. All the claims by the Lutzes of the police reports and calling the police.
The neighbors don't have records of any of it.
The neighbors around said there were never any police presence and never seemed to be any disturbances. The
cloven footprints in the snow.
Snow footprints, yeah.
During a time where there was no snow.
The date claimed.
So there are lots
no record of any snow.
Yes, there are lots of controversy around this. There's lots of criticism. There's lots of, well, this isn't what happened. Now, mind you, this was a book. Somebody wrote a book about it. Of course, they're going to embellish things. For a movie, they're going to embellish things. There's going to be fictional elements on it. That's why it's based on a true story, right? Right.
And we won't even get into the Warrens who did their little seance afterwards, who, by the way, weren't really invited. They just sort of leech on anything they can.
Look, they're paranormal investigators. They're demonologists. They have an official title, and Ed and Lorraine Warren showed up.
A lot of money off of these sort of hauntings. You're absolutely right.
So we get into this now. There are some. I don't know how credible these the arguments for it are, because again, we don't know what actually happened in those 28 days. We have a book that's supposedly based on their true story, but is that really what happened?
Well, I do believe. One of the things that I do believe is that George Lutz probably beat his family a little bit. He probably abused them a little bit.
Look, man, it's 1974.
They weren't his real kids. What does he have to prove? No,
so we get a little later, right? Everything's happened. There's controversy everywhere. There's literally lawsuits going on and on and on about this, all the way through. DeFeo, who is still alive, by the way, in jail. Like, he's still alive. Changes his story about 8 times about how his family died. So you're
going to say just 8? There's way higher than 8.
So he's actually still alive doing his thing. Nobody thinks to talk about him or get his side of things, because this is all about the Lutzes and their experience.
And Ronnie DeFeo Jr. is not alive. He actually died earlier this year.
Yes, he did die earlier this year. So he lived well past the Lutzes, and nobody consulted him about his parents haunting the Lutzes. It's terrible.
Well, I mean,
you didn't think he wanted to see his parents again?
He was trying to plead insanity, like.
So anyway, in 2013. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there are some of the things on their side is they stuck to their story to the very fucking end.
They did all the way.
They took lie detector tests.
They took a lie detector test with some of the best lie detector experts in the U.S. at the time, and it came back as they were not lying. So what really gets me with this is they truly believed that there were things happening in their home.
And I truly believe that they were haunted in that house. I just do not believe the extent of it
Oh, sure. Oh, sure.
But the people who did change their story were the kids who early on said it wasn't that drastic. And
Wasn't that
progressively,
drastic, but they did not deny claims of hauntings.
right? But they didn't buff it up until much later on in their lives.
So in 2013, Daniel Lutz, one of the children who lived in the house, did a documentary. And during this documentary, he interviewed and literally like echoed his parents, his mother and his stepfather's story almost verbatim. And then he made additional claims. He claimed that he and George got possessed. George had telekinetic abilities, and that George dabbled in the occult. Now, this is something that not only Daniel has said. Apparently, George had a relationship with the occult. So my thing with this is maybe it wasn't the house. They, the Lutzes claimed that it followed them, right? When they left.
Anything.
Maybe
It's all made up.
Maybe. But there is the possibility that there was something going on. And there's the possibility that it could have been George dabbling in the occult and doing these, rituals and shit, and that it was attached to him and not the house. Because you got to think, him and Kathy didn't live together until they moved in together at this house. They each had their own home until they got married.
Right.
So, and then things start happening and it follows them out of the house. And afterwards, everybody who's ever been there has never reported any form of paranormal happening to them.
Not in the least bit.
So,
and a lot of the discrepancies throughout the years just casts a lot of doubt in my minds. But it is such a fascinating story.
It is.
The movie is great. Yeah,
for a movie that came out in 1979, it is truly a cult classic. It is legitimately pretty scary for being an old movie.
And the story is just as great. And to sort of summarize it all, without this movie, we may never have known about James Brolin. And without James Brolin, we wouldn't have had Josh Brolin. We wouldn't have had Thanos. And the Avengers may have never happened.
So, thank you, Lutzes, for the Avengers.
Thank you. You're the real heroes.
That's the entire podcast there. Yep.
That was the whole point. I thought that's what we were working towards. We discussed this beforehand.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Thank you for the Avengers. Now, what I will say is the story, whether real or faked, whether, true horror or hoax, it has inspired so many different, films, different stories, different books. And it is truly, it falls into that kind of golden age of older horror. And I really, really enjoy that because it's a psychological horror. It's not, just blood and gore and, hack and slash. So it's really interesting. Will we ever find out exactly what happened during those 28 days? Because there was a breaking point. There was a moment where the family said, we cannot live in this house, and literally just abruptly left everything.
Yeah, I can figure out what happened. They bought a murder house. And they all went a little stir crazy, and they couldn't fucking handle their shit.
I mean,
it's not that difficult.
Was it the influence of the house that made them go stir crazy?
No, it wasn't.
Wink, wink.
No, I
don't know. There's
remain
just
skeptical.
Remain skeptical. There's skepticism for me too. There's so many inconsistencies, but at the same time, there's so much that leads to they really did stick to their story. There are these claims. There's the lie detector tests. So what happened.
I've been telling people I had a full head of hair for 10 years. That doesn't make it true.
But you admitted to other people that it
You've
wasn't.
been telling people you're cool for like 15 years. It hasn't made it true yet.
No,
Sticking
I
to
haven't.
your story
I don't,
does not
I don't tell
mean
anybody I'm
truth.
cool. That's just an outright lie. Why would you lie on this podcast? How dare you make those assumptions of me?
Ryan Colt Levy told me.
he did call us cool, didn't he? Anyway, well, that's kind of a quick breakdown of what happened during the Amityville Horror, during the movie, the controversy around everything, the true story, and we want to know what you guys think about it. You know, do you think that it's actually haunted? Do you believe that this family was really haunted by, you know, these demonic forces and this demonic possession? Or do you think they were just haunted by severe debt and needed some cash?
And a father that might have had a heavy hand.
I mean, it's the possibilities are limitless. But let us know about it. You know, we've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can email us at 2dap2020@gmail.com, and you can find links for all of those below in the YouTube description.
And you know what? We love horror, so this is going to be all month talking about horror shit. Our top fives, our deep dives, it's all going to be focused around horror themes. So if you love it, just keep listening.
Next time on Two Dads and a Podcast.
I should have said that all after
Oh,
this.
man.
What?
You interrupted the next
You
time.
gave me a nod.
No,
You
I gave
nodded.
you I gave you a hang on 1 second.
And then you went,
I nodded because I finally got it to work.
you don't nod for working.
Next time on Two Dads and a Podcast.
We're gonna do another.
You just nodded again.
I did.
And you said you nodded because it worked, and then you nodded
because it did work this time, and then I continued.
You got to stay consistent with your fucking head movements.
I am as inconsistent as the Lutzes.
Okay. So, if you love horror and everything October, keep listening to us through this month because we're going to keep covering different sort of horror October-y themed top fives and deep dives, and we're just going to stick with it for the next couple weeks.
You know, maybe the next movie will be a little more prepared. That would be that's the hope. I can't guarantee it, but we can hope.
Once I edit this, it'll sound prepared.
Oh, I suppose you're right. All right, guys. Well,
hey,
as
Looney, just in time for the end. We're here for you, buddy. We'll stick around.
Well, as always, guys, thanks so much for listening.
Love you.
What's up, Looney Plus Show? Yeah, you popped in right at the end of the podcast. But that's okay, because we're still here.
So honestly,
I can turn my fan on now.
Honestly,
it's like 80 fucking degrees.
So you had a haunted house when you were little?
Yeah, dude. You remember some of the stories I told you?
I remember the stories. I have been in fucking places where people said they saw stuff, and I'm looking right where the fuck they say they're seeing it. Never saw it.
I mean, you're just not attuned.
I spent my entire... Well, according to some people that I talked to, they said I'm too close to the veil. I am extremely in tune. But
you're so in tune, you just see over it.
Yeah, and basically, if the plane ever broke, I'd be seeing a whole bunch of shit. I don't believe that shit. I have gone and sought out.
Now,
went
mind
to
you,
fucking Athens to go to the abandoned insane asylum
Oh, nice. We've
And-
we've been to the Mansfield, but we did a haunted house at the Mansfield Reformatory, not just like a ghost hunt.
Dude, go to the Mansfield Reformatory during just a self-guided
Like
tour
a
where you can really walk around on your own. It's so much creepier.
One day we plan
'Cause,
to.
Yeah, you got to come down and do it with us because it's much creepier because you have nobody talking. You're in a group of maybe 10 or 20 at most,
Mhm.
and especially if you go earlier during the day.
Now we
And
did
It's just you can
um,
explore so much more, and you have much more time to walk around.
around town where we're at. There's like a paranormal group, and years ago we actually did like some ghost tours. And there's some old buildings like farmhouses and
Oh yeah, I used to do
and
quote unquote ghost tours too.
there's a
Usually
piggery
involved a crowbar and
that's
some-
breaking and entering.
no, that's trespassing.
Oh, okay. Distinct differences. No, but
No
there's
breaking involved.
actually like an old piggery barn where they actually like slaughtered and raised pigs and stuff. And while we were doing this like ghost tour going around to these different places,
Did you see ghost pigs?
no, but Tired Mom actually we're in this this basement of one of these old buildings, and we're walking away from an area where they told us the story of stuff that happened, and we're walking away, and she looks at me all of a sudden like real quick like, did you just touch my arm? And I didn't. Like, my arms were like, I was completely to myself. And like she was talking about how like it literally felt like somebody's hand grabbed her on like her back,
So
right across her back. So that
we
was kind of cool.
We traveled towards Athens to find the abandoned insane asylum before they tore it down, and we got lost. And we went to turn off this road, and we had to slam on the brakes because this road it just fucking dropped. There was no signs or warnings. It was just a road and then dead drop. I
Oh
don't know what-
jeez.
And
that's some like
so we went and we pulled off and we stopped in front of this graveyard.
naturally because there'd be a graveyard next to a sheer drop like that. That's how that works.
It was just an easy place to fucking stop, but our friend's car was dying. It was fucking dead.
Oh,
And
dying
we're
in
two
front
different
of a
cars.
graveyard.
We were in two different cars, and we popped the hood of his trunk, and his battery was just spitting out fucking battery acid for no fucking reason. And
Damn.
we had to go.
That's
down
some crazy
to
coincidences, man.
It was. We had to go down to the gas station to buy a new, or not gas station, Walmart, to buy a new battery, and they didn't have one that fits. So we had to tie it down with bungee cords and stuff.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Super
And
safe.
Nobody wanted
Super
to
safe.
go to the graveyard with me. And we got back to our hometown. I looked up that graveyard, and apparently it's notorious. It's got an angel statue, which we saw. You can see it if you drive by it. It's big up front. Apparently it moves around at night. The statue does.
Oh wow. So it's what are those things called? The weeping angels?
Oh, I love those. Yeah, Doctor Who, good shout out.
Yeah.
Good shout out.
So now I don't know if you remember this. This is a story.
Would be proud of your Doctor Who.
He would be. So this is a story of you and I. I don't know if you remember this. Back what was it, like in high school or right after high school? We would, over summer break and shit, we would walk around at like 3 a.m. and do you remember walking through this like apartment complex? I think it was over off of Maine. And we were walking around, and we're walking down, and of course, because it fucking 3 a.m., there's a lone bench with a street light that's dim as fuck over top of it. And we decided to like just keep walking down, and it's creepy as fuck. And there's like a dumpster at the end of the street, and we turn to focus on this bench, and we're talking about how just creepy and weird it is. And the next thing we know, we turn back, and there's a fucking car literally gunning it straight for us. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that shit.
No engine noise. Nobody there. Like, we heard nothing. and it's just all of a sudden this car out of fucking nowhere gunning it for us, and
You
then we
gotta watch
run
out
off.
for those fucking Teslas.
Dude, this was what, like
Hey, a
fucking
haunted Tesla
2004
that can just fucking
travel
sneak
through
up on
time.
you. Think about that. Think about what's the movie with the haunted car that kills people?
I don't
what
remember.
the fuck's that name of that one?
I don't remember.
It's a Stephen King one.
Yeah, there's some weird movies
Just-
out there like that.
Look
But
that up real quick.
but yeah, dude, I remember that was a weird moment because we literally heard nothing. Like there was no noise from the car whatsoever. It just came out of fucking, like it literally just came out of the fucking dumpster. It seemed like.
Christine. Just think of a Christine remake, except for it's a Tesla. You know it would be.
I would say my personal experiences, you know, of course this could just be the imagination of a, you know, 10, 11 year old.
You know it'd be a Tesla because fucking Elon Musk is the devil.
But at the house growing up, I remember laying in bed. I had this bunk bed, right? All to myself because prior to moving into the house, we
When is tired mom going to make you get rid of that bunk bed, by the way? Is she tired of sleeping on the bottom bunk?
I don't have it anymore. I did get rid of it, but dude, I had that all the way up until I moved out of my parents' house. I think they still have it, which is kind of hilarious. But you know, I have this bunk bed, and I liked sleeping on the top bunk, you know, even by myself. And so after we moved into this house, there's one night I'm laying there and I can't quite sleep. And so the lights are out and everything. And I can't sleep. I turn over, I'm looking up at the ceiling, and the next thing I see is this just pale old like lady. That's the best way I could describe it. It literally just looked like this woman staring down at me. And mind you, she's floating like above me. And I'm on the top bunk. So this is like 8 fucking feet off the floor that she's just like staring down at me. I literally jumped off the top bunk of the bed, flipped on the light, and slept with the lights on that night. It creeped the fuck out of me, man. It's creepy.
Well, if you have a ghost story, share it with 2 dads and a YouTube page.
Yeah, just comment on the video.
.com quote unquote. I just got an email from Twitch saying, see what the hype's about.
See what the hype's about. We got hacked.
I guess.
Oh, geez. So, and into some random talk. How about fucking Sora being in Smash Brothers, dude?
That'll be cool. I gotta buy it now.
I'm so freaking excited for that. I am so excited for that. The Mad Lads did it, man. The Mad Lads did
Who
it.
else should they pull off that game? Riku?
Well, this is the last character. Last character coming to Smash Brothers.
Ooh.
The very last DLC was the highest voted character for being added. So back when the Wii U,
shit.
yeah, back when the Wii U Smash was out, they did a poll, and you know, hey, who would you like to see in Smash Brothers? And that was the poll, and Sora was the number 1 voted character to be in the game. The number 1 voted character.
Now, do they have a list of characters to pick from?
So
Or is it like a vote
you
in?
literally just type your own character in.
Really? And it was Sora.
And Sora was the number 1. So like,
I could
it's
think of so many other characters.
to be honest, I voted for Paper Mario because Paper Mario would just be really fucking cool in a Smash Brothers game to get another 2D character. You know, because we have Game & Watch. He's the only like flat 2D character. Paper Mario would have been really cool. But
honestly, I'm kind of upset it wasn't Bodie McBoatface.
I know a lot of people. I should say more of a loud minority of people were mad that it, like, legitimately mad it wasn't Waluigi.
Harambe.
Um,
What did you say?
Waluigi. Wah!
I just bring Harambe back into any sort of
Of course you did. Of course you did. But yeah, dude, I'm excited. I'm excited for.
but all the way back then, Harambe would still be alive.
Yep.
Damn. We're getting old.
Rip.
So I guess that's it.
Is it? Is that it? Is that the end of this
Goodbye,
this
old
video?
friend. It is forever. We're done.
Flat hand. Pinky's out for fancy.
It's involuntary anymore.
Oh man.
No.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take.
I am like the wife already watched all the Halloween Town movies.
Did you?
I am getting into the fucking mood. I will be watching a shit ton
we
of horror
we
movies.
watched Over the Garden Wall.
Nice.
Because that's an every year thing. That's honestly a multiple time a year thing because it's just such a good show. I really want them to make more of it based on the comics because they had an ongoing comic book series for like 3 years.
Did you watch the new horror movie by the dude that created Saw and and produced The Conjuring? He's got a new horror movie on HBO Max. It came out last month.
No, I don't have the
Let me
time to
see
watch
the
horror movies as
name
much
of
because I
it.
can't watch them around the little dude, and tired mom doesn't have the heart for it anymore. Like, she loves horror, but it spikes her anxiety too much.
It is called.
I believe in you. You can find this out. You can do it.
If my internet was a little bit better. Oh, why? Malignant.
Malignant.
Yeah.
No, I have not seen that.
Okay. Not the best.
Okay.
But it has some fantastic camera work in it. Like,
I think the
shit
last
I've never seen before.
The last
That was
horror
just
movie I watched was the latest Conjuring.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Devil Made Me Do It. That one. That one was actually it was a good movie.
I had higher hopes for it.
I mean, I didn't go in expecting a whole lot because it was just following the Ed and Lorraine stories. But I enjoyed it. I enjoy the acting in those movies. Like the guy, the guy and the woman who play Ed and Lorraine do a really good job.
I think I'm gonna watch here soon, like the You're Next, Wrong Turn, House of Wax, going to some Rob Zombie,
So,
House of a Thousand Corpses.
I want to watch more the who was it? Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
I want to watch his other movies. I've seen Get Out. I have not seen the other ones.
They're not as good, but they're still worth watching.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard, and I do want to watch them.
To some of his TV shows he's getting into. You know, he was trying for the longest time to anything Blumhouse is going to be good. Jordan Peele for the longest time. I don't know if he's still trying, but he was trying to get the rights to do a live action Akira movie.
Ooh, live action Akira would be interesting. That'd be crazy, especially with like the CG tech that we have nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, did you get that
All
link I sent of all the shows that have ripped off Akira's
the bike
power slide? Yeah,
I haven't watched the video, but I did like kind of. I didn't watch it in its entirety, but
it's
yes,
fucking hilarious.
I mean, I wouldn't say ripped off. It's more of like paying homage to it. Yeah,
yeah.
So,
have you ever watched Would You Rather?
No, I haven't actually.
That is a cringe fucking movie. Cringeworthy.
Yeah, I have not. I have not.
Yeah, check that out if you get a chance. It's very, very cringeworthy.
I have a joke here before we hop off from the one and only Sean Chiplock that just tweeted out less than an hour ago. Outside of a bathroom, you're a person. But inside of the bathroom, urination.
I hate you all. That's just as bad as the Russian fucking bathroom joke.
Sean Chiplock would make a good dad if he's not already one.
I know the so speaking of the Akira live action, the last like bit of news on a live action was they were trying to get in 2019 a live action TV show produced. But I think that's kind of flamed out also. I think Warner Bros pulled the plug on it this year. Well, we'll see. Here's to hoping. Living, dreaming, loving life.
Yep.
That's what I always say.
But I'm going to take a quick break here. When I come back, I am going to be playing some Evil Within. I've been playing that over the last couple days. I'm not super far into it, but so far the game has been fantastic, and I need to play more of it. Like, dude, it wasn't on my top 5 list because I haven't finished the game, but there's been a few moments where I've legitimately been like, oh shit, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's got some good horror elements in it.
What I want some more of is just some inexpensive, like, I don't know, like $20, like quick off 2 or 3 hour playthrough horror games that are really fucking compelling, you know? That'd be nice to see some. It's not gonna.
I need to get you playing Doki Doki Literature Club. That game is creepy. This game is creepy.
Save it for the
YouTube series. Yeah.
yeah.
So, all right. Well, I'm gonna
this month too.
Looney, if you're still here and you want to watch some of the Evil Within and me playing through a horror game, refresh here in a little bit, and I should be live with that. But I'm going to go take a break, say goodnight to the kid, do family things because I'm a dad.
Yeah, and take care of that green slime all over the fucking house. You got.
Oh fuck! Is that
really
back?
freaking me out every time I come over.
Damn it! All right. So, but I will be back. We'll be playing some Evil Within.
I will be gone.
Yep. Forever. He's never coming back. It's really unfortunate. All right. See you soon.
Great. Yes.